Grixis train. So we're playing Grixis again today. The last video was a best of 3 Grixis. This video is a best of 1 Grixis. So for those of you asking for best of 1 content, hopefully I can deliver. Also, I got a new microphone, so hopefully my voice sounds silky smooth now. But all right, everybody aboard the Grixis train and let's get into the deck tech. Not back there though. We're gonna stay here. All right, so here it is. Before I get started, thank you guys for watching the channel. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, consider subscribing. It does help out the channel, helps make it grow, helps other people see it, and I want to build a community here. I'm really enjoying putting out these videos, and I'm enjoying you guys watching it. So thank you guys there. Also, I'm going to be coming out with a lot of best of 1 this week. I've had some requests for it, but the real reason is because I'm going to be moving this week. We just bought a house, so I'm going to be in a new space. This room is going to change behind me. And it's going to be a mess all week long, and I'm not going to have a ton of time to record videos. So I'm going to come out with best of 1. I could showcase a lot more matches in a shorter period of time, and I hope you guys enjoyed the best of 1 content for this week. Another reason best of 1 is so popular, and something that I really enjoy about best of 1 is the fact that you can play decks that just don't work in best of 3 because they're easy to sideboard in against, and this is one of them. This one also utilizes the entire sideboard for one of its main win cons, so it's definitely not a deck you're going to play in best of 3 like this. And we're on the Grixis train, so I started with Grixis. This deck was submitted to me by Jack Rope. I did make a decent amount of changes to it. I honestly have been playing around with it for like a week now, and I don't remember exactly what the starting deck looked like, but the basis of it is the same. This archetype has been around for a little bit, and it's basically a Planeswalker-based Fires of Invention deck. So Fires of Invention, if you don't know, I would imagine if you've been playing for at least a set, you know what Fires of Invention does. But basically, you can cast 2 spells without paying the mana cost. You have to have the lands to cast those spells on the battlefield, whether they're tapped or untapped, doesn't matter. But you can only cast 2 spells each turn, and you can only cast those spells during your turn. So you can cast instants, but they have to be during your turn, and it has to count towards one of the 2 spells that you're allowed to cast in your turn. So the best way to use fires is to cast a bunch of big spells. So casting 2, 5, 4 drops, 5 drops, 6 drops in a turn just accelerates your game so fast if you have Fires of Invention on the board. In this particular build, we're utilizing big planeswalkers. I do have a matchup in one of the games coming up, which stick around. It's the last one I'm going to showcase. It was the last one I played today with the deck against Fires, Jeskai Fires, the popular Fires of Invention deck. And it was a really cool matchup, so definitely watch that. But it kind of can show the differences in the 2 decks and different types of ways to work with Fires of Invention. So that's the main card of the deck. That's what this whole archetype is built around. How are we making this work? So other than having a bunch of big planeswalkers, the other really big card in this is Fae of Wishes. So a 1 mana or a 2 mana 1/4, not great. But the granted side of this, which is a 4 mana spell that allows you to pull any card from your sideboard. It has to be a non-creature card. So the sideboard can't have creatures in it. Like, we're not pulling giant creatures, which kind of stinks because there's a lot of cool giant creatures that I would like to put in the sideboard to pull out with this from Ikoria. But they did come out with a bunch of big spells. So I put every single one of them in the sideboard. I put all 5 ultimatum cards because why not? So we have 15 slots to work with. Now, if you're building this deck and you don't have all 5 ultimatum cards, don't feel like you have to craft them. The ones I think are the best, and that's because it's probably my favorite, Eerie Ultimatum. I think, and you'll see in the gameplay coming up, this card in action, but Eerie Ultimatum. Emergent Ultimatum is surprisingly good in this deck because we do run monocolored big boys. So we're running Liliana, we're running Sarkhan, other cards such as Extinction Event, Drawn from Dreams, Narset, Heartless, all of these are monocolored except for Nikki B. So we're not going to be able to get Nikki B with that, but we do have a lot of monocolored spells. Now they get to pick one, and you don't get to you don't get that one, but the other two are good. So you get to choose, and we do have a lot of different monocolored spells. So it does work. So Eerie Ultimatum, Original Ultimatum, Inspired Ultimatum, and Genesis Ultimatum, and Ruinous. So they all have their specific things, but if you don't have one, it's not a big deal. But if you don't have Eerie Ultimatum, craft it. Don't care. It's my favorite. Just do it. Some of the other cards we have in here, we want to fill up different mana slots in case we're not at 7 mana. So we have our 6 mana plays, which we have Commence the Endgame, Chandra, Casualty of War, Ugin. Casualty of War, good control card. Ugin, good flexible mid card. Chandra, good way to start that clock against control decks. Commence the Endgame, kind of the same thing, allows you to refuel. So 4 different cards with slightly different uses here. In the 5-drop spot, we have Elspeth. I feel like there might be some other things we could stick in here. But Elspeth is the one. It's one of the best 5-drops in the game. It does so much. 4-drops, we have a couple control cards. Extinction Event, which is also in the main board, and this is a card. Jack, who sent this to me, pointed out how good this was for him, and it has been really good. And you'll see. I'm gonna showcase a game where this just crushes the opponent, and I've been very impressed with the way this one's performed as well. And then Kaya's Wrath, because it's a good flexible removal. Ashiok is for basically the Loris deck. There's other decks that utilize Graveyard, so Ashiok I have it in the main board, and I have one in the sideboard because you want to be able to pull it out if you need to. And then Grafdigger's Cage, again, for the Loris, so that things can't enter the graveyard. Now, if you have Grafdigger's Cage on the board, do not use Eerie Ultimatum, because it won't work, and that could be something that could happen if you're not understanding how it works. But just keep in mind that if you have this down, don't choose this. Unfortunately, you cry because you did that. But chances are, if you're putting this down, it's against the Loris deck, and if you're all the way up at 7 mana, you've probably already won the game. So it shouldn't be a problem, but just a little tip. Another thing, a lot of these cards don't work unless you have Fires of Invention on the board, because you're only running blue, black, red, and a lot of these cards aren't blue, black, red. Now, the low end cards are. The reason I did that is because when you're on this low end and you're pulling stuff out of this sideboard and you want to pick those cards, you probably don't have Fires of Invention down. You're probably just faying just to kind of get maybe Extinction Event or something that you already have here. But once you get up into the higher mana costs, if you want to pull something, pull like Chandra, Commence the Endgame, something that you can Ugin, something you can actually cast if you don't have Fires of Invention down. So I would recommend maybe knowing what's in your sideboard. It will help if you're playing this deck, so either writing it down, or if you have a deck tracker, like I use MTG Assistant, which I don't use a ton, but I do have it, to know what's in your deck. But MTG Assistant will only show your main board, so even for that, I would write down the sideboard, or at least memorize it. Okay, enough talking about Fae of Wishes and sideboard. That's a big part of this deck, so that's why I took so much time talking about it, and it is probably the most fun part of this deck. So other than that, we have some control. Quench, Agonizing Remorse, Heartless Act. Now, in the gameplay videos, I did not have Heartless Act. I had Erebos' Intervention, but I really think this card is better. Erebos' Intervention gives you some life gain. If you don't know that card, look it up. You'll see it in the gameplay anyways. It wasn't as phenomenal as I would have liked it to be, so I chose to sub it for Heartless Act because I do think that it is the overall better removal card. Narset, it's good against anything with card draw, but it can also help us fish for fires, or really any of our cards, because they're all non-creature. So it has a good target almost every single time, and you could put more of this in there as well, because you're probably going to find something, and it's just a good way to get to the cards that are important. All right, another 2 Ashioks in the main board for the Loris decks and any graveyard synergy decks. Drawn from Dreams, very important card. If you get fires down and you hit Drawn from Dreams, it can allow you to pull 2 other good high cards, which is basically setting up for your next turn. So it's a little slow, but in a deck like this, it's also very powerful. You don't have a lot of ways to filter through the deck like you do in the Jeskai variant, so this does give you a good way to do that. Fires Invention, obviously. Extinction Event, already went through that one. Sarkhan, we're playing a bunch of Planeswalkers. This is a good win condition. So I have 3 of these in here. because if you can build up your board with Planeswalkers. Sarkhan itself can put a lot of pressure on the opponent with the 4/4. You can -3 to create a 4/4 dragon, but you can also +1 and turn all of your other Planeswalkers into dragons to kill the opponent. Enter the God Eternals. One of in here has some good, it's a good flexible card. And Nikki B, the king of Grixis. I don't play him in a lot of builds, but I do like it in any type of control Grixis build, and definitely in a Planeswalker Grixis build. Nicol Bolas can be really good because without the other Planeswalkers, Nicol Bolas isn't as good. Kind of seems like 5-mana removal most of the time, or just you're way ahead and you just drop it to finish the game, but that isn't that important to me in a 5-drop Planeswalker. But if you can copy the other Planeswalkers, which you'll see, I was able to use it with Chandra from the sideboard to kind of create something to put the clock on a lot. So Nicol Bolas, very good in this deck. And then Liliana, Queen of Grixis. Love Liliana. She's my girl. Love her. That's why she's in there. And that's it. Okay, that's the deck. I think I've probably rambled for like 10 or 15 minutes at this point and gone through a lot of different things. So enjoy the gameplay. Some good games coming up. Best of One is a lot of fun to watch, and that's why I'm not surprised that people have been requesting that. But let me know what you guys want to see for the next Best of One videos. I'll be recording them throughout the week, and let me know. I'd love to get some feedback from you in the comments below. So thank you guys. Enjoy the gameplay. I'll see you next time. Yep, perfect. Quench, Fae of Wishes, Ashiok. We're going against Fires of Invention. Hold open Quench, very obviously, but we're going to do it anyways. Jeskai Fires versus Grixis Fires. Slam it. Do it. Yes. What I like to see. That's what Papa likes. Drop our own fires. And now I think we're going to Fae. Problem with Fae of Wishes is if he takes out Fires of Invention, like if he drops another Teferi and bounces, which the fact that he was jammed that Teferi at light speed means there's a good chance that you have another one. We're going to have to, but if that's the case, we can recast, so it's not that big of a deal unless he has a counter. But he shouldn't be able to counter it. There's nothing that can do that, so it's granted. So we're at 5 mana and we're going up to 6, so whatever we take is fine. But what do we take? Elspeth Conquers Death? It's a really good card in this matchup. One of the Ultimatums. It's hilarious and I love it. Ruinous Ultimatum? Also hilarious. Emergent. Nah, let's take Chandra. She's cute. I like her. Fires? Nope, Narset. Ah, this is not what I thought it was. It might still be. Yeah, it might still be Jeskai Fires. I guess I should have took a 5-drop. I'm gonna hit myself.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
Go 1/4. Thing is, I want this back in my hand, but I don't want to. I don't want to discard this land because I know it can get me out both of these cards. Let's see. Oh, he hits Ashiok. Interesting. Can always bounce this later. Okay. Chandra goes down. Lily goes down.
You look flammable enough.
Oh, Liliana.
I do hope you make this battle exciting for me. Smelly, but effective.
Aw, looks like someone's getting a little sweaty.
It's Narset's ultimate. Yeah, we should probably stop that from happening.
Why must we do things the hard way? Enlightenment.
So we're bouncing Fair Wishes. Just hoping that he will target it with something. I don't need Enter the God Eternals. What's this? Ah.
I like your energy.
Fair enough. Ooh, the trigger on that. That's right. So I can't drop a 7-drop this turn, right? Or I can't, yeah. Wait, 4, 5, 6, 7. Huh. Let's do the things we know we're gonna do.
Rise and shine.
So we have another Liliana. And before you kill me, I know I made a mistake. I didn't attack first. I'm just playing too hard. I'm having too much fun. So with Emergence Ultimatum, I can get Sarkhan. Probably should just get Elspeth Conquers Death. Yeah. I can't do this, right? Oh, I still can do it. I'm so dumb. That was a mistake.
I will miss you, friend.
Because math, I didn't realize that we don't have to pay the cost there. Mana cost less than or equal to the number of lands you control, so you're not... that doesn't matter. I see.
Death won't conquer me so easily.
So it's fine, because we have another one in the graveyard.
Aw, looks like someone's getting a little sweaty.
Ooh, okay, so he has Kenrith and Sphinx and Inspired Ultimatum. I guess Inspired Ultimatum's the pick, right? Even though Kenrith and Sphinx are bad for us. I don't think it's lethal, so we're kind of okay. We're gonna take 10 here. Or he's just gonna go after Chandra. I guess he'll start to gain life here. I'll probably leave these back now.
Reduced to embers.
Alright, so bring back Liliana. Give her some loyalty.
Make an excellent minion.
resonate throughout the multiverse.
What's he have? Kruger and Kenrith's. Alright, we're gonna take that out. Oh wait, we can't take that out. Never mind.
I outsmarted you eons ago.
My prowess is unmatched by me. Meditate and prepare.
So I only have one choice here. All right. He'll bring back Karuga. He'll drop both of those. He'll pump them all. So he basically Cavalier of Flames is bad for me. That's good at least. He leads with the Sphinx, so that makes me believe he probably doesn't have Cavalier. Alright. Thank the Lord. Going after the walkers. Oh, this is going to be a good eerie ultimatum, though. I'm so excited. This is why I put it in the sideboard. I'm so excited. All right. And a Fae. Make sure I pick the correct one. And we're going to start clicking real fast. Orset, Nicol, Bolas, Liliana, Chandra, Elspeth, Fae of Wishes. That. Whatever that is. And another fires because why the hell not? Boom. I guess we exile Kenrith, right?
My image.
Ah, I was hoping he'd try to draw again, but he didn't. All right, so then I guess we have to sacrifice the Fae, right? But we have another one, so it's fine.
Never hurt anyone. Waste not, want not.
And then we're going to just start stacking these triggers.
Is it just me, or is it getting a little warm with thoughtfulness before action?
I'm leaving this in my hand so I can discard. I don't have anything over 7 mana. Haha! Machine gun! Pow! Pew pew pew! Alright, Ashiok's pretty good though, because we can exile his graveyard. So you can't bring stuff back. Because he does have Elspeth Conquers Deaths in his deck. Alright, that's enough. Yes! I did it. I did it. That was the whole point of this deck, is so that I can find another way to play Eerie Ultimatum, because it's by far my favorite card. Cobra Jacket. We're low on lands, but we do have Fires of Invention, Agonizing Remorse, and Extinction Event. I'm going to keep it. We're running 27 lands in the deck. So hopefully that allows us to filter, or at least helps us draw the lands that we need. Alright. Let's give it a scry. Don't need another Fires of Invention. Let's go lands. Hushbringer. So this must be Loris. Let's check out. Oh wait, no, it's not Loris. He doesn't have it. Never mind. Something similar. Kaya. Do we care about Kaya? Probably not. Murderous Rider, I think, is worse. Yeah, I don't really care about graveyards anyways. Looks like we're tuned up against this deck pretty well, actually. It could just be completely wrong. We will see. It pretty much depends on whether we draw the lands that we need or not. Okay. Could just kill the Hushbringer. We could also get Ashiok down, but Ashiok doesn't seem to be doing much against this deck. If anything, we're just giving him more stuff to exile. So let's just pay for this. Pass the turn. We obviously want to hit our 4th land. If we hit our 4th land, we have Fires into Drawn from Dreams, which can turn this game around. Kind of just let us run off with it. Doesn't get anything off of that. He may think I have a counter right now, so I'm going to take the 1. Okay. Well, I was just, in case that other card was something you wanted to play, I still wanted to bluff the counter. And 1 damage in the long run shouldn't really matter. If I stopped from dropping a 3-drop, I'm okay with that. We didn't hit what we needed. So let's get Ashiok down. The search doesn't really matter, but okay, never mind. Guess it really didn't matter long run. I'm gonna do his graveyard. Oh, there goes 2 Canors. So he pretty much is tuned to beat Loris. That's what this whole deck is. This is which I respect that. I do want to play the Loris deck, not the traditional Loris deck though. I want to play the new Rakdos aggro version. It uses Obosh as the companion card and just has Loris in the deck because it's Loris and it's good no matter what you do. Perfect. Okay, Fires goes down. Let's see if we just win here. We need land, so I'm going to take one that I don't have to pay for. And then I already have a Sarkhan. Narset could be good, or Liliana if we hit our 6th land. I think I'm just going to go Narset. Leave Ashiok at 4. I'd rather have him alive, so whenever I +1 Sarkhan, I can attack with him. So I'm just going to preserve his loyalty. Or not. What was that I was just saying? Just never mind. Don't you worry. Nothing to see here. So okay, he minused. Interesting. Nikki B, Papa Bully, Sarkhan, and we probably are gonna get a concession here soon. Make a 4/4. So this is interesting. I can just make another 4/4, but I don't know if that's best here. I can also just draw a card and exile a card. I mean, yeah. He'll kill Othakaya, but still. Let's filter through the deck a little bit.
My intellect is without limit.
I think, yeah, that's a 0. I forgot it's a token. That's okay, it didn't really matter. So maybe making that second 4/4 was the correct. No worries.
I was not prepared for this.
I will consume you. You are bold.
I mean, yeah. I don't really have much else to do with it. Okay. Yeah, that was enough. That was enough. Okay. Still a little light on lands here. Alright, that's a little bit better. Okay, we got another one coming up. Alright. Tables have been set. Ooh. Does that main phase? He just doesn't want to get countered then. Should I kill it now? I can. I'm going to Agonize Remorse though. Lots of counters. To be expected. Let's take out the... It's not going to matter, right? Let's take out the Quench. One, because it's the only one he can cast right now. Perfect. Do this right now because he had to have drawn a Quench here. Oh, forgot about that. We're going to come back from that mistake, though. Because of his misplay. Well, I guess yeah. Unfortunately, he can just kill it now. Alright, what I really need is another sweeper. Or that, I guess that works too. Alright. Still alive. Liliana coming up. I'll take her. Thorge Bat coming down. Alright. So, creature or planeswalker. That could be bad if he's left to his own devices. Let's Drawn from Dreams first. See what we hit. We will take Nicol Bolas, and we will take Fae of Wishes. And then we will put down Liliana. See if it resolves. We go to 5. Perfect. All right.